Well, good evening, everyone. If I haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet, let me hide this mic, that's not working. My name is Nola Krasky, and I am the president of the Golden Chamber of Commerce. This year is the Golden Chamber's 105th anniversary year. And with that, we are focused on what it means to thrive. A couple of years ago, we launched a new manifesto, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I will read the start, because this is really where our focus and our intention this year is. We believe every business in Golden has a place in the community, because every business has a stake in helping Golden thrive. Strong businesses need flourishing communities that in turn feed more growth and opportunity for all. We complete that golden circle. So I want to share a little bit about the Golden Chamber and who we are. As I mentioned, it's our 105th anniversary year, so we've been around for a little while. And through that time, we've seen lots of changes, of course, in Golden. But today, we are an organization made up of many members of our Golden community. We are also a staff of Chamber of Commerce professionals. That is our job, that's our focus, and it's what we do every single day. We have a board of directors that are all volunteers that help lead and govern the organization. Our organization is made up of business owners, from the members that are a part of it to our own staff and to our board. Many business owners represent our organization. The Chamber is a nonprofit, and we are focused on supporting our community. And right now, we are just over 415 members strong, and all those members feel connected to and care about the Golden community very much. So as we focus on thriving this year, I wanted to kind of step back and talk about what does thriving mean? What does thriving look like for Golden and for any community? And I think when we look at individuals and families, as well as when we look at businesses, thriving can look very, very similar. Specifically for individuals and families, thriving is well-being and quality of life, economic stability, personal growth and fulfillment, and social connection. Similarly, our business community, when they look to thrive, are looking at economic growth. They're looking at innovation and opportunity, community support, and sustainability and resilience. So I turned to my friend AI for a little bit of help. There's a lot of things we can get and gain from AI. Looking at AI, I kind of asked, what do communities in general need to be thriving? And what I kind of found when I not just looked at AI, but other sources as well, is that there's really 5 key pillars that any community needs in order to be considered thriving. And I think here in Golden, we are very blessed that we have so many of these things going very well for us. And I think we're going to hear a lot about that tonight from our city government. But one thing that every community needs in order to thrive is education and lifelong learning. And this is from early childhood to adult education. Ensuring continuous personal and professional development is important. Right here in Golden and nearby to our community, we have wonderful neighborhood schools, daycare centers, Head Start programs, access to career and technical education programs and trade programs, apprenticeships. We've got Red Rocks Community College nearby, and we're home to the amazing Colorado School of Mines. So all these organizations have a tremendous role to play in building a thriving community. Also in all communities, economic development and employment is incredibly important as well. This is supporting local businesses, entrepreneurship, and workforce development. Golden has so much to offer our local business community, from those that are just starting out to those that have been here for generations. This is the work that is central to the Golden Chamber of Commerce and that we're passionate about. But in addition to the work that the Chamber is doing, there are so many wonderful organizations and associations that we have the pleasure to work and collaborate with to create a wonderful network of services here for our business community. Every community needs health and well-being in order to thrive. That's access to healthcare services, mental health support, and recreational spaces. Golden has 2 large hospital systems nearby, a network of mental health professionals, and sought-after recreational spaces for all to enjoy. Community engagement and leadership, having active civic participation, volunteerism, and strong local leadership is important for any community that wants to thrive. And Golden is a community that likes to show up. If you take a look around tonight, we've got a good representation of that. Our residents and our businesses are passionate about the Golden community. And the last thing that every community needs to thrive is sustainable infrastructure and environment. That is our green spaces, access to transportation, sustainable urban planning. These are all areas that our city government works on every single day, and I'm sure we're going to hear a little bit more about in just a little bit. So I'll let them do that update. So a little closer to the Golden Chamber and the work that we're doing, our membership is thriving. We had a very successful 2024. I'm excited that we saw a 9% total increase in our members in this past year. A 58% increase in new members joining the chamber, which was amazing, and a very strong retention rate at just over 87%. We've also started 2025 off very strong with a record-breaking month for new members this year, and we have about 415 members currently. One of my favorite parts of working for the Golden Chamber is being able to celebrate alongside our businesses for their big moments and helping to see them thrive through these milestones. Our businesses get to celebrate ribbon cuttings whenever they are opening a brand new business or celebrating a big anniversary or rebranding or moving into a new location. It's always fun to help them with that ceremonial celebration. And this last year we had 17 ribbon cuttings. And then this year we are starting off the year strong. We've already held 4 ribbon cuttings to date and have 4 more that are currently scheduled. So to me, this is a good number showing that our businesses are thriving and doing well. So as I get ready to close, I just want to say that I'm really proud of the Golden Chamber and our 105-year history here in our community. And I'm proud that we have the opportunity to walk alongside our businesses in their journey. We're grateful that our business community continues to provide us with their trust and support, and we're honored to be a part of representing them here tonight. Chambers of Commerce and their connection, advocacy, and education efforts are still valuable, even 105 years later. When we talk about a thriving community, there's no one single solution to making a community thrive. It's all about having a strong alignment between the Chamber of Commerce, the business community, the city, the residents, and all the community organizations that make each community so special. The Golden Chamber is dedicated to being a part of Golden and continuing to see our community thrive for many more years. So with that, I believe we've got a video from the city that I'm going to play before we bring up our next speaker.
Thank you for joining us at the 2025 State of the City. As we wrap up another year, I want to take a moment to reflect on what makes Golden truly special, our connection to one another. A successful community isn't built by any one person or group. It thrives because of the way we show up for each other, work together, and share a commitment to making this city the best it can be. This year has brought both accomplishments and challenges. From exciting new projects to one of our most difficult moments, coming together to honor the life of Officer Evan Dunn. Through it all, we've been reminded that Golden's strength lies in its people. Whether through collaboration, problem solving, or simply looking out for our neighbors, each of us plays a role in shaping the place we call home. None of us can do it alone, and we shouldn't have to. Our success depends on the trust, effort, and dedication we bring to our shared future.
This past year has been one of progress, innovation, and resilience. Golden thrives because of the people who care deeply about the city, those who engage and share their voices, and the hundreds of employees who take ideas and form them into the projects you'll see in just a moment. You'll hear about key accomplishments from across the city, projects and programs that reflect our shared commitment to making Golden even better. These efforts are made stronger through community input, collaboration, and the belief that when we work together, we create something truly special. What follows is just a glimpse of the progress we've made, but every day, throughout the city, important work is happening, guided by your voices and the dedication of so many. Thank you for your engagement, your ideas, and your commitment to Golden's future.
We've made big strides over this past year to improve safety and accessibility with flashing beacons, raised crosswalks, new sidewalks, and bike lanes are connecting neighborhoods and making Golden safer to walk and bike. Plus, the Ore Cart celebrated its first anniversary with over 90,000 trips to date.
This year, we delivered long-awaited amenities like pickleball courts at Grampus, basketball court upgrades, new fencing at Lions Park, and universal access restrooms.
Creek improvements, including gates and a new beach area, have made the creek safer and more enjoyable for everyone.
Electrifying our fleet was a big success.
We've added 4 electric trucks, electric mowers, blowers, and public charging stations.
We're also meeting our solar goals creatively, like adding solar panels to the 6400 water tank, where there is no electricity access.
And thanks to our residents for keeping our compost free of contamination, all materials were able to be composted this year.
Our racial equity, diversity, and inclusion strategies expanded this year. From door knocking in underrepresented areas to staff luncheons focused on diversity, we're building stronger connections with our community.
We've implemented equity-based policing through procedural justice training.
And by hiring a co-responder.
That's me.
Ensuring compassionate service for those in need.
We partnered with Native American communities to create new exhibits and install the Native American Arbor, a meaningful addition to Golden's landscape.
This year's group volunteer efforts logged more than 580 hours, which is up from 80 just last year.
Thank you for helping keep our creek and city beautiful.
This year marked the first full year of Golden's in-house legal department. One of the highlights from this year was collaborating with the Public Works and City Clerk's office in creating efficiencies in contracts and working together to provide efficiency in government.
With a new team structure, we focused on pay equity, fair wages, and maintaining affordable benefits for our employees.
Plus, the compressed work week has shown great results, enhancing work-life balance and keeping services top-notch.
Our team expanded emergency readiness with full-time staffing at Station 24 and new fire apparatus, including a tower ladder. We're proud to deliver even stronger service to Golden.
Exciting progress is underway for the Heart of Golden project. Phase 1 will bring a new, thoughtfully designed police and municipal facility, creating a more accessible and efficient space to serve the community. This sustainable facility will enhance safety, improve access, and include gathering spaces that reflect community needs. In Phase 2, we'll enhance the Clear Creek corridor with connections east of Washington Avenue, expanded green spaces, and new resident-focused amenities to enjoy all that Golden has to offer.
This year, we helped over 40 people experiencing homelessness find housing and supported affordable housing projects like Copper Gold Apartments.
We also cleaned underneath the Clear Creek bridges and strengthened businesses like the Grant for Babes Tea Room, brightening the neighborhood.
As your mayor, and on behalf of the City Council, thank you for being part of this community and for the countless ways you contribute to its success.
It was wonderful to see so many familiar faces in that video and so many faces that represent Golden. It is my pleasure now to turn the mic over to Mayor Laura Weinberg. Please join me in welcoming our mayor.
Thank you, Nola. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here tonight. The State of the City is always a great time to reflect on the past year. So 2024, we saw there was a lot done in the city, a lot of amazing new projects, a lot of work accomplished by our incredible city team. So if you would all join me in a big round of applause for everyone who works for the City of Golden. Thank you. I like to walk, but I think I'm tethered. I don't know. We're going to stay here. There's a lot going on. But I did want to just, before we get into the rest of the state of the city, wanted to recognize that we have a few city councilors here with me tonight. Paul Hazeman is around. There's Paul. Who else? Patty Evans. We've also got Lisa Vitry. So these are your city councilors. We also have a representative from Congresswoman Pedersen's office. David Clark is here representing the Congresswoman. And I just want to thank Congresswoman Pedersen and her office for all of her support and all that they are doing to help represent us and address not just the concerns of the city, but all of us who live in her district in accessing resources and addressing our concerns. So thank you to the Congresswoman. All right, I'm going to turn us forward to start talking about now. So we did a lot of great stuff in 2024. What's going on now in 2025? I'm going to start really high level with a look at Golden's economy. Here we go. You know, all of you live or work in Golden, and over the last few years, we have seen some major projects in our city. We've seen a lot of construction cranes. I hear from people all the time, like, wow, there's a lot of construction cranes going on. And it's true. We have seen continuing investments from some of our biggest employers, our biggest businesses, as well as institutions here in the city, as they are recommitting to their future here in Golden by making these investments in facilities. So we all know Golden is a great place to live, to work, to play, and they are committed to staying here long term. So some of what we have seen, commercial project-wise, we've seen a number of projects from Coors Brewery, from Coors Tech, through their Clayworks redevelopment project, as well as Colorado School of Mines. Some of these projects opened, great celebrations and openings in 2024. Some others are opening this year in 2025 as they complete their construction phase. And others are still going to be under construction and all that entails for the coming couple of years. So these facilities are their commitment to remaining in Golden. They are also facilities that are changing the landscape in Golden, right? They are different than what was there before. And so we're all working through and living through both the construction phase as well as what that means for our future. I think there's a lot of great things that are coming online and showing that Golden is going to continue to be a place where people want to work, open a business, and be long into the future. We know that we continue to have a high demand for housing in Golden. There's never enough housing available at any time. It is really exciting to see that we have a number of residential projects that are coming online as well. The interesting thing to me about these residential projects that are either under construction or have been approved already is the different type of housing. So there's for sale single-family homes as well as for rent apartments. There's for sale affordable housing as well as for rent workforce housing. So a lot of different types of housing, which is different from maybe some decades in the past where we only saw one type of housing built. The interesting one that I had to put on the bottom is our very first cluster home development. That was part of our new zoning code that was adopted. The residential part was adopted, I think, in 2022. We've had a number of phases, but cluster home development was part of that. The very first one has been approved. They haven't started construction yet, but this is on a single residential parcel. Instead of one home, there are 6 cottages. So 6 different independent units, smaller homes for smaller households that will be developed. So I'm really interested to see how this works. We know we have a lot of smaller households that don't necessarily need the giant single-family homes, so cottages might be appropriate, and really exciting to see that move forward. All right, Golden has a very diverse economy. We have those big businesses, we have small businesses, we have businesses across a variety of industries. And so generally, we have a strong economy even if certain sectors are down or certain sectors are booming, because we are spread out across the city in a lot of different industries. The city completed an economic contribution study. I got a draft. I'm not sure the actual amount is published, but one of the things that I think intuitively we know, but now we can actually quantify, our economic contribution is outsized relative to our size community. So we are 3.5% of Jefferson County's total population, but we are 8% of Jefferson County's economy. We are an economic driver in the region, and we can see that reflected in our numbers. All that diversity of business does feed into our city budget. Many of our businesses collect sales tax and remit to the city, and we saw that we continued to have an increase in sales tax collections last year, 2024 over 2023, so that all feeds into our city budget and shows robustness in our businesses who are here operating in Golden. Our economic development focus for a number of years, one of the focuses has been on entrepreneurship and innovation. Golden is a great place to start a business. The Chamber knows this. It's a great place to start a business. We have a great ecosystem of supported businesses and community members who have expertise and are able to help businesses get off the ground and thrive. We had 120 new business licenses issued in the city last year. And finally, for just a snapshot on our Golden budget and where we are, we continue to see strength and how we budget. Strong revenues coming in, managed by really well thought out expenses. We are projected to end 2024, when the books are all done, with over 47% reserves. So in our fund balance, that rainy day fund balance, 47%. Our target is 20%. So we have made some strategic decisions on how to use some of that excess fund balance. This year we'll be using it for debt reduction, as well as some more additional capital improvement projects. And we're still planned over the next 2-year budget cycle to end 2026 over that 20% mark at around 24%. So really strong city performance, as well as overall business performance in the city. I promised I'd leave time for Scott, but I get to talking, and there's so much to say. But I wanted to take most of my time to talk about this. We talk about 2030, and we've been talking about 2030 for a long time in the city. Vision 2030, sustainability goals in 2030, lots of goals and things for 2030. I'm like, we are halfway through that decade, right? So in addition to just reflecting on last year, I wanted to go through a little bit on where we are, how we're making progress on some of those outstanding items that were out there when we entered the decade, as well as some of those adopted goals. So start with our fire department. We have secured the future of a strong municipal agency for our Golden Fire Department. This was a long conversation, and thanks to the voters in 2023, we are now assured that we have a Golden Fire Department into the future. Lodging tax passed in 2021 after a very long time, since it was first introduced in a blue ribbon panel. But the lodging tax that was passed in 2021 has been used and will continue to be used to address the visitor impacts. So all those visitors who are coming in, we now have funding to address those impacts, as well as to support our Thriving Communities programs. And again, we saw a little bit in the video, but after many years of considering what do we do for our municipal facilities, I was on council in 2018 when we did the space needs study to say how much space do we have and how much do we need for the future of Golden. Last year we did approve and we are moving forward with a police and municipal facility that we will have groundbreaking this year. So I don't know what the date will be, sometime this summer, but you're all invited to the groundbreaking when it happens. Starting in 2020, we introduced a strategic action plan. This is what we use now year over year. We approve an annual strategic action plan to make sure that City Council is prioritizing for the year. These are the things the city is going to do, that City Council wants to do for the year, and that we are making sure that our resources are aligned, our budget is aligned to those priorities, and that we are actively managing change. We are thinking about what is needed every single year based on the conditions of that year. Our housing goals, we adopted new housing goals in 2017 for the first time in our comprehensive plan. Since then, in 2022, we completed the Housing Needs and Assessment Plan. We've created a housing trust fund. We loaned $2 million for the community purchase by mobile home residents. And we have preserved 20 affordable units in the city. So housing has been a big priority for a number of years, and we are making progress in the last few years, and we'll continue making progress towards those goals. Our sustainability goals are something, we have 2030 goals, we have 2050 goals. They're in the three main areas of energy, water, and waste. We continue to make strides in all three of those areas, and in the last 5 years, we have adopted an EV plan, and we keep adding electric vehicles and equipment to the city fleet. We adopted green waste, so free green waste as part of the Pay-As-You-Throw program in 2021, and that has resulted in our City of Golden waste diversion twice that of the state average. So we are beating the state, and we continue to make progress towards our own goals on the waste side. And this year, we are looking to adopt net zero energy codes. We've been working on it. The Sustainability Board and Department have been working on it for a couple of years, and we have it on our plan this year for 2025 adoption. And finally, Parks and Recreation. Every year there's lots of projects. We saw the pickleball courts. Maybe some of you have used them. They're beautiful. There's always a lot going on in Parks and Recreation, but I wanted to highlight a couple of things that really have a lasting impact. We've added 6 acres of parkland in the south neighborhoods that we will eventually be developing into a park, but we have the 6 acres now. We connected our Clear Creek Trail to the Gateway segment, the Jefferson County Open Space Gateway segment. That has provided a lot of great recreation and trail up into the canyon. We are also continuing to work annually, but really saw this starting after COVID and all the people who wanted to recreate outside. We established creek management strategies. We have a process that we repeat every year to review, assess, adopt new changes, innovate new things, and manage our creek corridor. And this year in 2025, we are working to adopt a brand new open space master plan for the first time and an updated new Parks and Recreation master plan. On the planning and zoning front, we spent a lot of years on that zoning code audit, rewrite, lots of phases involved in that. We've completed it. We will continue to work on the zoning code, but that rewrite to bring us and allow us to have a better foundation to guide future development, we have adopted that. It is working to make sure that both residential and commercial development is following that new code, and everybody understands the code in a way that the old code was really hard to understand. This year we are working on updating the city's comprehensive plan, so we will have an updated comp plan in 2025. And finally, this wasn't on my radar before the decade started, but retail marijuana was passed by voters in 2021. The city has worked on a business licensing program. There are 4 locations that have been opened now. And what I will say is the tax that is coming from those locations, so when voters approved retail marijuana, a tax was also approved, and those dollars are going to fund efforts around mental health, food insecurity, and housing needs for Golden community members. So we now have a source of funding to work with our nonprofits to help people in our community in meaningful ways. 2025, what are we focused on? I talked about a couple of things that we are going to do in 2025. And I'm just going to touch on a couple more and leave most of it to Scott. So I didn't want to come up here and say, like, everything that we thought we were going to do at the end of the year is definitely getting done this year. And council has had, a lot of conversation around this already this year. No surprise to anyone, there are just so many uncertainties right now at the state and federal level around funding, availability around policy changes that may or may not be occurring. Nobody really knows at this point. So this is the reality we are in, and this is what Council is recognizing. In our 2025 priorities, we are not introducing any major new policies, any major new programs or projects. And so we're saying 2025 is a year where we're going to complete projects. Things that we've already approved, we have budgeted, we have resources. We are going to focus on completing those projects successfully. We're going to further our already adopted goals, those goals around sustainability, around housing, the things that we are making progress on. We want to focus our efforts on continuing to make progress on those adopted goals. And we want to work on adapting our existing programs for future success. We have programs that have existed in Golden for a long time, and Golden has changed over the many decades. And so we want to make sure that those programs are stood up and are structured to be successful going forward. So I'm going to talk about a couple of those programs, what I mean by that, adapting programs, and then I'll turn things over. So, community marketing. Community marketing was enacted by Council back in 2000, and they have achieved tremendous success, right? In the 25 years, tremendous success branding Golden. I don't know if you go visit places and you say you're from Golden and people actually know where Golden is or what we have here. The brand of Golden has much stronger than it used to be, as well as tremendous success in marketing to outside visitors. We have something like over 2 million unique visitors to Golden every year. So they have had great success. We want to continue that success going forward, but the structure that was put in place in 2000 and then re-upped and changed in 2011 isn't maybe the structure that's going to continue forward in the best way for our city and community. So we're looking this year to transition the structure of community marketing, how community marketing is run, to new staff, city staff, as well as a new volunteer commission. So we haven't approved this, but this is my notice to all of you, marketing brand folks, that we will have a new volunteer commission, hopefully later this year, and really hope that we, as we always do, have community members interested and willing to serve and help in this community marketing space going forward. We also have to recommit the funding for this program. It is set to expire in 2025. That was the whole impetus to look at all of this, is we have to recommit the funding, and so we will also be deciding that and have to vote on that this year. So community marketing, really we've had great success with the businesses, the organizations, the individuals who've been working on it, and we hope to continue that success under a new structure. Similarly, community engagement, back in 2019, really we worked on it in 2018, but all of that to say it was pre-COVID that we adopted the Community Engagement Planning Guide. And we all know that the ways we engage and the opportunities to participate virtually have sort of accelerated. There are a lot more opportunities now than there were before. And so we want to make sure that our community engagement guide reflects all those current opportunities as well as meets the community expectations around engagement. So this year we're going to update the engagement guide and look to assess and improve the city's outreach efforts so that we can make sure that we have opportunity for everyone to engage in the work of the city. So those are a couple of the things that when I say we're going to adapt programs, they're things we've been doing and we've been doing successfully. We just want to set them up for success in the future, and hopefully all of you will join us in those efforts and helping us get that done. I'm going to put in one more plug before I turn things over to talk about projects for next year, and that is we have so many amazing community members that volunteer for our boards and commissions, and City Council can't do it without all of you. This year we have a number of openings on the boards and commissions, including a brand new commission, our Arts and Culture Commission, brand new this year, focused not just on public art, but the bigger picture of culture in Golden. Applications are due March 17th, so I hope you will take a look online, consider applying for an open seat, and dedicate a little bit of your time to helping Golden thrive. So that's my pitch before I leave. I am going to turn this over to Scott Vargo, our city manager, to talk about some of the many key projects that we have set up for 2025.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Nola. Appreciate you leading off, and always hard to follow the mayor in one of these events. I'm more of a reader. She's more of an ad-libber. I just remember last year, I think I had somewhere in the 5 to 10 minute range for my 20 or 25 minutes worth of stuff. But today I got plenty of time. We're in really good shape. Thanks for everybody. This is a great turnout. We've done this now. This is my third State of the City meeting. The first year was a little different format and was much smaller or much lighter turnout. Last year we probably had about 3/4 of this size audience, and so this year is the biggest that I've seen since I've been here. I'm really excited to see the interest and the event growing over the years. And so we hope that we've hit sort of the right time, the right day, the right amount of food, the right amount of dessert to get folks to come. So again, talk up the desserts. There's a lot of little shot cake things back there still that are left, so dive into those before we leave. I want to thank all of the members of the management team that are here, sort of ringing around the side of the room here. They are a huge part of the success that I'm seeing, that I think the community sees within Golden. And so thanks to all of them for coming tonight and being here and supporting us on a day-to-day basis as well. The mayor did a great job of providing an overview of the state of our city, our economy, our goals, some of the challenges that we're facing. I'm going to go deeper into some of those details, share a bit about some key projects that are underway now and that will continue in 2025 and beyond as well. And I think first what I want to do is remind folks about where this stuff comes from. So we have a strategic action plan that the mayor mentioned. We have 5 success factors. That's these items here. Those headings you may recognize from the video. Each segment of the video was one of those success factors. We've tried to really incorporate this action plan into all of the things that we do, and how do we identify where we're doing our work, why we're doing our work in these different areas. And we've incorporated that now into the budget as well. And so all of those themes continue to show up repeatedly, and it just enhances, I think, our commitment to those things, those items as well. So we have 5 success factors. I'm not going to go into the details of those. We then have 10 council initiatives. So those are bigger projects that have larger policy implications that council is more involved in on a more regular basis. And then we have what we're calling key projects, and we have about 50 of those. We try to cut those down to be like 25 or 30. Every year it seems as though we add more of those than we drop off, so we're just under 50 of those this year. I think it's really important, however, to mention that we have another category that doesn't get nearly as much attention, and that's what we identify as our ongoing work and our maintenance efforts within the city. There are hundreds of those line items. They are attached as part of the strategic action plan, but those are things that keep the city running on a day-to-day operational basis. So that is our fire department and the things they do on a regular basis, our police department, any number of other functions within the city. And I encourage folks to take a look at that online on the strategic action plan, just so you get a sense of the scale and the scope of work that takes place within the city on a regular basis and isn't as glamorous, isn't as exciting as some of the big projects that get a lot more attention or publicity. But again, those are core to what we do as a city and core to how the community is able to function at a high level. And without those things, we would really struggle. So on to key projects. That's where I'm going to spend most of my time. You'll see again, I wasn't lying. That's the success factor. So this is coordinated or organized in that fashion as well. And so I didn't do any words on any of my slides. They're just pictures. I'm not going to go through all 50 of the things. I tried to pick out 100 things that I could talk about. I tried to pick out about 15 or 20 things to talk about that folks might find a bit more interesting as well. And so these items on the screen behind me, we're talking about renewable energy. We're looking at a community solar garden effort within Golden, 5 megawatt project. It would be on about 10 acres of property. 10,000 solar panels is what that actually equates to. And that would provide the power, the energy for about 1,000 homes within Golden on an annual basis. So we're excited about that. We're hopeful that those things will go forward. As the mayor mentioned, there are some uncertainties, to be generous, in terms of where federal funding is, where sustainability programs lie for the future. And so some of these projects that I talk about may be impacted by some of those decisions at the federal level. But we're plugging away and hoping that they still garner the attention and the funding necessary to put them in place. That charge point device there is a fast charger, a DC fast charger. We are going to be installing some of those within the community. We're looking at the Clear Creek lot, which is the lot all the way at the end of the east end of 10th, where we call that the tuber parking. So down in that area, we're looking to install a fast charging station there. That would be the first of likely a number of those within the community. So that's exciting as well, to be able to advance from the slow chargers to those more speedy pieces of equipment. And then we've got a photo here of the ore cart. I thought this was a good one. We've got a lot of pictures of the ore cart just static, just sitting there. This one actually shows that there are people that ride it. They get on it, they get off it. And so I thought that was a good image for people to see. It's also, again, the transit center, the Taj Mahal area train station. And so we do connect to that facility. So in the past, you could take a train or you could take a bus, but you couldn't get anywhere really from there. And now we've got the ore cart, which provides that extra level of service. So you could take the ore cart to that station, get on a train, get on a bus, and head downtown, or vice versa. So we're excited about that. There's a new transit app that's going to be launched, which will provide folks with more information about when it's coming, and you could kind of watch the vehicle on the map to see how far away it is from the stop. Those sorts of things. We're getting, again, some uncertainties. We're expected to get some federal grant funding in 2025 as well that will help us to expand the service to some degree. We're looking at some routes perhaps on South Golden Road that would take us down into that part of the community as well. I have here, let's see, what am I going to start with? I'll start with the Lions Park. So you can see here on the big picture on the bottom, that's Lions Park, so that's just right out here. We have a big project for design in 2025. I've got 3 design projects in a row that are on this slide. All of them are design in 2025 with expected construction taking place in 2026. So Lions Park, we're looking to do a design, new playground, a number of new sidewalk connections that would improve safety, would improve accessibility, in particular accessibility for folks with disabilities. And then in 2026 was when we would hope to actually construct those improvements on site. And then we have the East Zone, which is the photo up at the top of Vanover Park. So we're doing design work around what we're calling the East Amenity Zone. So that's really Parfit, Vanover, Tucker Gulch, and then the location where the new police and municipal building will be constructed. There is a considerable amount of green space or undeveloped space that will be behind that building. And what we're looking at in this East Amenity Zone is how do we connect all of those spaces, what other activities or amenities or functionality do we want to see within those different spaces? So keep your eyes open. There are a number of public meetings that are scheduled and will be scheduled throughout the course of the year to gather feedback and gather input about what do we do in those areas and what's the most appropriate for those different locations. And then this little sketch down here at the bottom in the corner, that is an underpass underneath Ford Street to try to, again, keep some folks off of the road. We have a lot of folks that like to run across Ford Street when it's busy in the summertime. This would be another opportunity for an underpass, and so we're designing that piece as well, again with construction to be planned for 2026 as well. Let's see, the golf course. These are a couple of just lovely images of the golf course. There is a big plan for a new irrigation system at the Fossil Trace Golf Course. It is expected to be considerably more efficient than the system we have today. That system's been in place for the duration of the time Fossil Trace has been around, which is about 23 years, I think, to be accurate. This new system is expected to have a life of 50 plus years. It's got different technology around the sprinkler heads, around the pipe system that's being used to reduce the amount of leaks that we see, to improve the coverage that we get out of less water or with less water. So we're really excited about being able to make those improvements as well. And I skipped one. Up in the top on the left-hand side there, it talks about 8th to 10th Street connection. So we are looking at two different connections to get from 8th Street down to 10th Street. One is on the left-hand side with that gold boundary around it, which is more of a steady grade walking path that would be accessible. And then on the other side of the community center where there are some social trails already, we're looking at a stairway design on that side as well. So there'll be better connectivity to get back and forth here. We know lots of people transit through here, and they do it on, again, social trails that are slippery, steep, muddy, and not in any way ADA accessible. And so we want to improve those conditions as well. So we're doing some design on that as well. All right, let's see. I will jump into the next section here, affordable and thriving projects. This slide is all about Ulysses. For those of you that have been near or around Ulysses Park, you've seen that it's a bit of a mess right now. A lot of stuff is closed down. There's a lot of activity going on. The slide or the picture on the left are new natural turf multi-use fields that will be in place at the new Ulysses Park. And then the second or the middle slide there, we're going to be upgrading the restrooms. I know that's super exciting for folks, but that's actually a really big project. And then upgrading playground areas. There's a new dog park. I don't know. Oh, there it is on the lower right-hand corner. We're going to relocate the dog park from where it is currently to essentially the other side of the Ulysses Park complex, and it will be a much improved dog park from what exists on site today. So we're really excited about all of that. Some of the closures are in place now, and there's sort of a rolling schedule for when we can start to open different aspects up over time. So just pay attention to Guiding Golden. There's a timeline that we have there that we try to keep updated as conditions change. A lot of stuff, as you might expect with an outdoor project like this, is affected greatly by weather conditions. So we were hoping to open the skate park up at the end of last month. Because of weather and other conditions that we found on site. We've also found a lot, whenever you do any kind of a construction project in Golden, there's a lot of infrastructure that nobody told anybody about. And so we found some of that on this project as well. So we're looking at the skate park reopening towards the end of this month, so about a month behind, but project is still progressing nicely. Let's see, I will talk, I don't have a picture of this because I didn't know what a good picture of the budget might be. So we are working on the budget, some improvements in our process around how we do budgeting within the city. And we're also looking at how can we incorporate some different income or need-based fees within Golden as well. So good examples of that might be within our child care or our preschool programs, might be with our athletics programs, other opportunities for folks where we see that there's a need and we want to make sure that we're providing opportunities to folks throughout the income spectrum within Golden. And so we're going to look at some of that as we go through the 2026 budgeting process, which will kick off here remarkably soon, unfortunately. All right, safe, inclusive, and engaged stuff. I just mentioned, so lower right-hand corner, that is preschool or summer camp. I'm not sure which it is. But both of those programs we're going to do some work on to increase the amount of programming that we do, take advantage of, again, new opportunities for folks on a year-round basis. So we're really excited about some new opportunities and expansions of those programs in the coming year. The other pictures, the other three, are of different seniors activities. So there was a lengthy conversation as part of this budget process that took place in 2024 for the 2025 budget, where we looked at how can we increase the amount of resources and support and programming for our seniors within the community. So we have over $300,000 in very direct funding associated with senior services and programs. We wanted to continue or want to continue to enhance those services, enhance those programs. And so we've added some trips for seniors. We've added more dinners and potlucks and other events for seniors. We do see it as incredibly important for us to be able to provide that social connection for folks, for seniors within our community. And so we're going to continue to grow those programs as we go forward. READY, which is our racial equity, diversity, and inclusion program. We have a task force that's made up of both internal employees as well as community members. That is a program that we have an action plan, and we are initiating different elements of that action plan, and had started that about a year and a half ago, and we're continuing to make more and more progress. We just had this past week completed culture of belonging training for city employees. We had about 135 employees that participated in that 2-hour training with somebody that we brought in. And it's really important for us internally as the city to understand some of the basic tenets around diversity and equity and inclusion and belonging, and how can we model that behavior, and how can we then share that experience with the rest of the community. So Sarah Vane, who's our Thriving Communities Director, leads that committee. We'll continue to do monthly community neighborhood engagement events where we talk about that, where we try to provide folks with a better, more comfortable environment to engage with city government, understand who we are and what we do and how they can become more involved themselves. And so we're really excited about that continuing and moving forward into the future. DeLong Park is our poster child for our pesticide-free parks. We are going to roll that out now to Southridge and New Loveland Mine Park as well in 2025. And so we're excited to see DeLong, which was a pilot project, be successful, and now we're going to be able to roll that out to some additional programs or additional parks with an organization called Beyond Pesticides. So hopefully we'll continue to see the same success that we saw at DeLong at these others, and be able to expand even further beyond that. This is one of my best photos. This is a noise wall. It's very attractive. The ones we'll put in place will have some sort of stamped image of the city of Golden or some other colorful thing, maybe a mountain lion or who knows. But we are moving forward with our noise mitigation program. We know how important that is to the community. We know how many highways we have. We know how many gravel trucks are driving around. And so we want to try to make improvements where we can to try to mitigate some of those sound issues, some of those quality of life issues for our residents. So the first wall is this map over here. So that's 7th Street on the lower side and 6th Street on the upper side, and Highway 58 in the middle. And so we're looking to construct a wall on the north side of Highway 58 west of Washington in 2025. And then we've got some design efforts that are going for the next priorities, which are the east side, or the south side, I'm sorry, of Highway 58, the east side of Highway 93, near Mitchell Elementary and north of Golden Gate. So all of those projects, those latter projects are in design. This one is closing in on finishing design and getting to the point where we're going to actually start to execute the construction phase, which we're really excited about. It's taken a lot longer because, again, as I suggested earlier, whenever you try to do a project like this, you generally find something under the ground or some sort of ownership issue that nobody knew about, and so we have to work through all of those challenges in real time. All right, respected and relational governance. We'll talk a little bit about, these are all pictures related to Mines. The mayor talked a little bit about some of the development at Mines. That's the Mines Park apartment complex. That's the big M that people see. That's the close-up version of it if you've never walked all the way up there and brought a rock up. I have not, but that's what it looks like more close up. We have an IGA, two IGAs really, with the School of Mines. One is related to land use issues. The other is more operational in nature. We are very unique as a city, as a community, that in having an intergovernmental agreement with a public university that's within the boundaries of the city. And we're really proud of that. It doesn't solve all issues, but it does give us a baseline, and it does help us to identify those areas where we can or should be collaborating. And so that IGA is up, or coming up on its expiration. So we're in the process right now of renegotiating that IGA, those IGAs with the School of Mines.
Hey Scott, what's an IGA?
An intergovernmental agreement. It's a contract. It's an agreement between the parties. Thank you, Ms. Byerly. It is an agreement between the parties to behave in a certain way, to follow certain procedures or certain rules, and again, sets expectations out front rather than having to deal with them down the road after whatever calamity has taken place. So we're working on updating those, trying again to maintain and improve the level of collaboration that we have with School of Mines and address fairly issues that we have, issues that they have, and issues that the community has. Because we know and they know they are a huge impact within the city of Golden, and in many regards they're a significant benefit to the city of Golden as well, economically and culturally. And so we want to embrace that, but we want to try to mitigate some of the negative impacts as best we can. Next one that I'll talk about in terms of relationships around government, emergency management and emergency management training and coordination and planning is incredibly important. We've seen massive wildfires here in Colorado. We've seen them in California. We've seen flooding in Colorado. We've seen any number of disasters or pandemics as well. And emergency management is critical for the city to make sure that we understand the system that operates emergency management. It's this booklet down here on the right corner, the National Incident Management System. That is the framework that emergency management functions within the United States and beyond. And so we train as a management team. And this past year, we had council attend a training session on some of the basics as it related to emergency management and elected officials. And we'll continue to do those trainings. We're doing those in collaboration with Jefferson County and their emergency management function as well. They'll help us with a large-scale tabletop exercise in 2025. And before Ann asks, a tabletop exercise is a simulation of an emergency where you're not necessarily out in the field, but you're sitting around a table, you're getting prompts and scenarios and examples of how things happen. You take a step, and then they'll tell you how you did that wrong, and you should have done it this way, but you haven't injured anybody or anything in that event. And so it's a good way for us to learn and understand how these systems should function. So we're excited about continuing those programs as well. And then quality services. This is our water pond outside of our water treatment plant down here in the lower left-hand corner. We are doing a master plan associated with water treatment and our water rights. Obviously, everybody wants to be able to turn on their faucet and drink water. They want to be able to flush a toilet. They want to be able to wash their clothes. So we need to have water to be able to provide to the community for that to happen. Water in Colorado is challenging, to say the least. The folks that have been in charge of Golden for 150 years have done a really good job of setting up the city of Golden with regards to water rights. That doesn't mean we're in a situation where we have this enormous excess of water and we have other challenges from a geographic or a fire situation, et cetera, that we need to make sure we're understanding and we're planning for as we look at our water rights, look at our water treatment, look at upgrading our facilities, et cetera. So there's a big master plan effort that's underway this year on that topic. That's a fire truck up in the left-hand corner. That's one of the new fire trucks that we've received. I think fire apparatus would be a more appropriate term. Thank you, Chief Beal. And so there are a couple of things that fire is doing that I wanted to mention in this area. They are going after accreditation of the Golden Fire Department. That would put us in the same place as some of our neighboring agencies, Fairmount, West Metro, South Metro, et cetera. And so we want to be on the same page. We want to make sure that we're following similar protocols, similar procedures to our neighboring agencies as well, especially as we've moved from almost exclusively a volunteer fire department into a combined fire department where we've got a number of career staff as well as a large pool of volunteers. And we want to make sure that everybody is being held to a high professional standard. So that will help us get there as well, or prove that we're there. And then we've got a community risk reduction action plan that we're putting together. We have brought on board a community risk reduction specialist within Golden Fire Department. They'll work on developing a plan that will identify and prioritize risks within the community, and then outline steps, proactive measures that we can take to address those hazardous conditions that we find. And so it's really important for us to, again, back to the idea of emergency management, understand what the risks are and then try to plan for those before we're faced with a situation in the moment. So we have all of that. And then down here on the lower right-hand corner is the new police and municipal building. As the mayor mentioned, that design is well underway. We are expecting to, I don't know if we'll call it the official groundbreaking or not, but we're looking to do some early action work on the site in April. And then we're looking to sort of really start getting out of the ground with the project later in the summer, this summer. And so we're really excited about that. We may use the April or some work in May as our opportunity to do the groundbreaking and take advantage of decent weather and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that's all I've got. So I just want to say thank you to everyone again for coming. Really glad to see such a nice turnout this evening, and for your interest in what we have to say and for your ongoing support of the city. So thank you very much.